Greetings, my fellow Airsoft nerds. I'm James Shahan. I'm one of the owners of Combat Zone, and I'm the guy that is writing and completely 100% in charge of Yellow Rocks 2024. We did set the date for 30 March. That is the last weekend in March of 2024. The link for all this stuff should be down in the description. The link for this is everywhere. It's hopupairsoft.com/events/public/yellowrocks24, the number 24. Right now, today is the 31st of January, 2024, until I want to say like February 6th or 7th. Total ticket cost is $49.07, and it's broken down here. $45 ticket plus the $4.07 hop-up fee. Other than that, the normal online ticket price is going to be $59.68, and walk-ons will be $70. Everyone is going to get free admission to the night game on Friday, free camping on Friday, obviously the free Saturday play. If you want to stay Saturday night and camp in the parking lot, you can do that. You can also play for free on Sunday the 31st, the day after Yellow Rocks. It also includes free HBA airfills for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and a raffle ticket. There is no rental equipment available for this. If you don't have your own gun, this is not an event for you. This event is designed for self-sufficient players that have all their own stuff. These are the raffle items. We're going to be giving off a pistol, some batteries, some mid-caps, and a really sweet Specna Edge. These rifles just slap. They're so good. I'll talk about the check-in and format guide in a second. Backstory, you can read that if you want. Gameplay. We're changing it up a little this year. It's still the BBMC, the Blackberry Mining Corporation. They're going to have to capture and hold up to 5 gold mines this year, whereas last year I believe it was 3. We're still doing for the every 30 minutes they get coins, gold coins. We're going to have refs doing those spot checks. The FRM, the Feather River Militia, cannot earn gold from cap points, but they can deny the BBMC the ability to earn this gold. The Feather River Militia earns gold by making moonshine and bringing it back to their base. Now, if you want, you can go through and read all this stuff, but real quick, you gather your ingredients, you bring them to the center fort building, and that's the cookhouse, and then there's a process in there also. That's all explained in here, but the BDMC is mostly a capture and defend, and then denial. And then the Feather River Militia is the same thing, capture, defend, and denial. But the objectives of what they have to capture and defend are different. For the Feather River Militia, only bootleggers, and I'll talk about those in a second, only bootleggers can move the completed moonshine from the cook site to the base, and that is how you score points. But any Feather River Militia player may move those ingredients, that's fine. And if you are on the BBMC team, you may not touch FRM game props. That is not allowed. Market value, don't worry about that. That's really for us and the commander to understand. That will be broken down a little bit more throughout if you just want to read and get a good understanding for this, but I'm just going to kind of run through the basic rules for this. Objectives for both factions: protect gold and ammo cans. Only the BBMC revenuers and the FRM bootleggers, which are like this special player class with abilities that I created for each faction, only those two groups of players are allowed to move the gold bars and the ammo cans. Now, you're going to need gold bars and ammo cans to set up mobile respawns, which you can set up at any of the 5 capture points. There will also be a little bit of bounty hunting, so there's going to be active warrants out for certain groups and individuals, and the game staff, will tell the commander when those warrants are active and when they're not, so you can't just go around and do your own thing. It's going to be a little bit of organization to it. Why are we even trying to earn these silly points? One of the things you can do for 20 points is you can destroy the contraband, which is where you can buy a bomb, basically. Only revenuers and bootleggers may touch the bomb. If that bomb goes off, what it allows you to do is you can shut down an ingredient site, the cook site, or a gold mine for 20 minutes. Mobile respawn costs 20 gold coins to establish or move it. It's basically just going to be one of the 5 gold mines. Technically, I call them ingredient sites because the FRM ingredient sites are also going to be the gold mines. That way there's a lot more action going to those 5 specific points. 6 if you include the still site, but the still site has no value for points or anything if you're BBMC. Got to have 2 ammo boxes and 10 gold bars in one of those gold mines, and you have to have a platoon leader or higher in the the immediate vicinity of that gold mine, and then you can hold that mobile respawn. All right, let's talk about the big thing everyone always asks me questions about: the uniform colors or the dress code for the different factions. If you are a Blackberry Mining Corporation security member, you may not, obviously, you can't wear anything that's going to look like the Feather River Militia folks. The one exception is that revenuers may wear blue tiger stripe, and I'll kind of go over what that means in a second. Civilian tops are allowed, so if you want to wear like a t-shirt or a hoodie or something like that, that's fine. It does not have to be like a military style combat top. The pants do need to be faction colored, so you cannot wear an OCP top with M81 pants, but you could wear an OCP top with gray pants. That's okay, because the solid colors are brown, tan, and gray, if you want to just wear solid colors. Camo patterns are going to be the standard, kind of like the American standard style. It's going to be OCP, UCP, ABU, any of the tan-based stuff like the Desert Chocolate Chip or any of that stuff. But it doesn't have to be a US pattern. So let's say you wanted to wear Australian Desert. That's fine. That's still tan or brown. That's okay. But generally when guys are asking me stuff, it's usually the more modern American patterns that are going to be on BBMC. Usually, most of the time, keeping it ambiguous for explanation purposes. Marpat and any like the Navy digital stuff, that's also going to be BBMC. Camo patterns don't have to be exclusively US, so if you wanted to wear British Desert Camo, that's fine. There are no weapon restrictions. As long as it's a 20th century or later weapon, that's fine. That's okay with me. Revenuers is a platoon within the BBMC. Now, real quick, Revenuers and Bootleggers can use any class of weapon they want, like any other player. They can use snipers, LMGs, DMRs, I don't care. Commanders are going to decide whether the Revenuers and Bootleggers are in one single platoon or if they're like tasked out in squads. I'm going to let the commanders decide that. And they may also use, they're the only class of player that may use short bursts for their guns if it doesn't exceed 1 joule. That's not, we're not talking about like LMGs and stuff like that. So if you've got like an ARP9 and it's shooting less than 1 joule, you can use short bursts on that. But HPA guns are not going to be allowed that privilege. Nope. Back to the Revenuer uniform thing. Any blue-based military or law enforcement style blouse, that's fine. Kind of like these, you got the short sleeve law enforcement shirts, the blue Navy stuff. The specific blue tiger stripe is okay. Any of the solid blue or black things, that's fine. Or anything just blue or black in nature, that's fine. Long or short sleeve, doesn't really matter. But it does need to be easily identifiable. So if you're wearing like a blue shirt, but it's got a bunch of stuff all over it, you can't really tell from a distance that it's a blue shirt, we're probably going to DQ that. So again, you need to keep in mind the purpose of this uniform, of the dress code and the uniform mandates are for identification of friendly and enemy forces. So if you're one of those guys that's going to try and game the system, they're like, oh, I'm going to wear this so I can, nope. I'm going to stop you right at check-in, and I'm going to tell you to either change your shirt or go home without a refund. Specific patterns are going to be like your LAPD stuff, the light or the sky blue, that's fine, things like that. If you have any questions, if this isn't specific enough for you and you've got like an even more specific nerdy question, go ahead and just hit me up and I'll happily clarify it for you. But this is basically the vibe of what the Revenuer is. It's designed to look like a law enforcement member. The Feather River Militia. Obviously, again, you may not wear anything that looks like a BBMC pattern. Again, the only caveat to that was the blue tiger stripe, because you notice that tiger stripe and M81 are Feather River Militia only. But again, if it's easily identifiable as blue, it's okay for Revenuers. So that's the only exception. So if you have a blue tiger or blue M81 and it is distinctly easily identifiable as blue, it's good to go. Camo patterns right off the bat, the easy stuff. Desert Night, Woodland M81, and any of like the M81 variations that they have, like the British disruptive pattern and blah, 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 that's fine. That's totally fine. White winter camo, as long as it is primarily white, is fine. But again, it has to be easily distinguishable from something else. So if it's like a little bit of white but a lot of bit of gray, hey man, gray is not for Feather River Militia. You got to change that top out. Anything that's predominantly green, it should be okay. Unless you got something out there that's just real weird. So if you've got like green and blue 50-50, no, dude, you can't do that. That's you're trying to game the system. We're not going to let that fly. But if you can look at this picture of what is allowed, that's okay to go. Also for the Feather River Militia, civilian hunting camouflage is totally okay. So like your Mossy Oak stuff, the Real Tree, any of the Ducks Unlimited stuff, as long as it doesn't look like something from the Blackberry Mining Corporation, it'll be good to go. If you have any questions, don't wait to check in. Hit me up now because I will pull you if I think it's going to cause a conflict. I don't care about 1 or 10 people. I care about the roughly 140 to 160 people that are going to come to this event. No weapon restrictions on this one. AKs, M4s, as long as it's 20th century or later, as long as it is a modern looking replica, that's fine. Bootleggers are the Feather River Militia equivalent of the Revenuers. They're designed to be like the moonshiners, the backwoods kind of folk. A platoon within the FRM, if that's what the commander decides. They are wearing long sleeve flannels for anything except black, blue, or gray. That way we're not confusing them with Revenuers. That's going to get weird if that's the case. Red flannels are authorized. If you are not a registered bootlegger, you are not allowed to wear a flannel. We're not going to let that happen. No weapon restrictions, and you can use short bursts as long as it's not an HBA gun and it's 1 joule or under. Uniform regs is in here. I did rework them this year to be a little bit more new player friendly, and also to give some better IFF. So that's why I added the rule that your pants have to be faction colored. So for instance, if you're wearing a Woodland M81 top, you don't have to wear Woodland M81 pants, but they do have to be faction colored. So you could do Woodland M81 top and say Tiger Stripe pants. That's totally fine because those are both within the faction norms. You could do whatever silly, you could do a Taz 81 with green pants. I don't care. As long as it conforms to this standard that I have set forth, it should be fine. Again, caveating whatever airsofters are going to try and pull to try and game the system. If you have questions, please hit me up. Equipment rules. The big ones for this is no melee kills are allowed and no shields are allowed. That's really the only big ones. Everything else is pretty standard with what we do. No drum mags except for LMGs. No feathering. We're going to try and enforce that as much as we can. No extended triggers. Standard 250 BB capacity. So like those, if you're running an M4, the PTS EPM1s, those 250 mid caps, those are fine. But no winding magazines. Nothing above like a 250 capacity. Unless it's an LMG, that's fine. But for standard, BB Warrior stuff, nothing above a 250. No limit on how many mags you can carry. And if you want, you could take like a little bag with like your Odin speed loaders and extra mags, and like you can take like your little goodie bag onto the field, at your respawn point, so you don't have to like walk off to the field, walk back on. No, you can take your stuff with you. That's fine. Just stage it at your spawn point. That's totally okay. Grenades. As of right now, 31st January 2024. Enola Gay 67s, those Enola Gay pyro grenades are a no-go because ATF is like, haha, no, you thought, but you were wrong. Smoke grenades are fine, so we are going to be having pre-orders for EG18s. We have that going on right now because tickets are live. But right now, there is no allowance of EG67s until Enola Gay tells us it's good to go and has them available for sale. So unless I say otherwise, no EG67s. But smokes are fine. You can pre-order whatever smoke grenades you want through us. If you want to bring like your Thunder Bees or the little spring-powered grenades and stuff like that, that's totally fine. I'm really just talking about pyros. The pyro's the big one. FPS and MED limitations, it's pretty standard to what we've been doing. Depending on, we really just kind of replicate the Milsim West and the Desert Fox event rules. AEGs, that's the big one, 1.5 joules with the 0 MED. If you're using GBBRs, you can use short burst. So that's a GBBR or GBB SMG. You can use short burst on that. I'll let those extra nerds have that fun. If you run an HPA setup, you can go up to 1.5 joules. If it's a semi-only gun, that's fine. If you're using a pistol, you can run M4 mag adapters like your primaries and stuff. That's totally fine as well. No melee kills are allowed, and again, no shields are allowed. This is a gunfight game. If you don't like that, stay home. There are no bang kills. There aren't. All BBs have to be biodegradable. We have them as part of your pre-order right now. And from what I've seen, the HPA BBs that we've been pre-selling are one of the best biodegradables out there, and we're offering them at a lower price because we're not charging tax on this. So this is going to be the best way for you to get BBs. Max BB weight is a 0.45 for snipers, DMRs, and LMGs. Everyone else, it's a 0.32. We will not carry anything higher than a 0.32 because it just doesn't sell. All these kids are like, well, we want heavier BBs. No one's using them. No one's asking for there's no sales for this. So if you want something higher than a 0.32, pre-order it because we will not, most likely not have it for sale the day of. We might not, but no one's been asking for it. Everyone's mostly been asking for threes. Threes sell very fast for us. The medic rules. There is no medic specific class on this one. All of your teammates are your medics. Once you get shot anywhere on your person, gun hits don't count. You got to raise a free hand, announce hit, and sit, or I would suggest sit on the ground and place the red rag we're going to give you on your head. On your head, not in your hand. If you're holding it in your hand, you're going to get shot in the face. While you are dead, the only thing you're allowed to say is medic or buddy aid. That's it. You may not give player positions away. I might just incorporate a rule that says, hey, if this guy, if you know he's dead and he's telling players what's up, keep shooting him. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. If you go 60 seconds without being treated by a teammate, you have bled out and you got to just stand back up, keep that red rag on your head, and then walk back to respawn, reset your bandages, go back to BB fights. Dead players cannot be moved. If for a safety administrative reason, you need to like scooch out of the way of like a high traffic zone, that's fine. No more than like 5 feet on that one. But you cannot drag or move a dead player to cover. You have to heal them where they lie. There is no like dramatic death scene rule in this. If you want to incorporate it, I highly suggest it. It is a lot more fun when you get hit. You go, ah! Players have a lot more fun with that one. It's a much better experience, but we're not mandating that. So for Yellow Rocks, I try to design this to be a lot more new player friendly before we start adding like what some would consider to be an advanced rule. This is the basic game map of what we're looking at. So far, everyone really likes what the left and right spawn limits. So what is referred to as dollhouse normally, and what is referred to as cement pyramid or pyramids normally for the 2 spawn points. Everyone's liking that pretty well, so we usually just keep that. 1 year we tried this satellite hill. Guys weren't really jiving with that one too much, so we're just going to keep the spawn right in here. I will have some red boundary limits set in here. I'll go over that in a second. These are going to be the 1, 2, and 3 gold mines, and then 4 and 5 gold mines over here. Sugar is going to be on 2 up towards ambulance. The corn is going to be on 5 or totes, and the water is going to be in that little creek area off of Satellite Hill. The center fort, which is here, is going to be the cook site, and everything that's a white circle is a gold mine. If you go all the way back up to the top of the hop-up event, you're scrolling down, you're looking for the check-in and format guide. It's going to look like this. It's a Google Slide event to have a lot more details and pictures and stuff. I've got the table of contents set to go in case you need anything. It's got all kinds of extra information as far as what's going on, how things work, if you know, the deals we have for you at the arms room, how to get tech work done, stuff like that. Night game information is going to be in there. The check-in layout is going to be in there. If you've been to one of our events before, it's the same check-in event style, or it's the same check-in style for the events that we do. It's the cool little lap with those little check-in cards. different stations. These are mostly what the check-in cards are going to look like. DMR rule explained, so if you want to use a DMR, it gives you the standards of what is and is not acceptable. Here's an important admin note. These barrels, see how these gray barrels have the orange or the red tape on them? So these barrels are what this sort of represents. That way, the players from this side don't get too far into their spawn, and the players from this side don't get too far into their spawn. That way you can't get spawn trapped unless your whole team just basically gives up. I've also got some red flag tape and some red duct tape on a few things as well, to where I couldn't really get like a barrel in there. So I just added another visible marker. For more admin notes, we're going to have this little break area in the spawn point. This is going to be in the little trailer on Doll House. This will be past the big tree. We're going to put some nets over this so you can see it. We will also have free drinking water for you guys back in these areas also. So if you want to take a break, come in this little trailer, take your eye pro off and drink some water, that's fine. On this picture off on the right, it kind of sees it a little bit more. We'll clear some of this brush away so it's a little easier to see, and I'll try and mark it better. On the pyramid side, this is going to be the same thing. You notice this already has netting on it. We'll probably add a little bit more and clean this up. But this is going to be the spot where you can go, take your eye pro off, drink a little water, and then go back out onto the cool little BB fight. This way you don't have to walk off the field. We're going to close this off a lot more and then just keep it so that it's just this one entrance right in here, just for more safety. These are going to be some of the game props you're going to see if you're the Feather River Militia. The fruit bags are just going to be marked as these sort of spray painted sandbags. That's going to be fine. Sugar bags are going to be these burlap bags with the word sugar on them. Pretty easy. Water is going to be these 3 blue barrels with the word water specifically on them. So don't just bring up some random plastic barrel you found on the field. If it's not blue, if it doesn't say water on it, it's not. And these are going to be the corn stalks. We may still get these again, what we used last year. I got to see what Home Depot's got in stock, but that's basically what it's going to look like. The finished moonshine product is going to be a single empty keg. These are actual kegs that House of Paint in Roseville donated to us. These are actual metal kegs, so, you know, get in shape. Ammo cans are going to be these big 50 cal ammo cans, and these gold bars are just going to be chopped up. I think these are 2x2s that we painted gold. This is going to be the bomb props, going to be the standard true aim bomb that we've had forever. This also goes into explain like market value and mobile respawn and a bunch of respawn questions and some stuff like that. Give it a look through. It's got a lot of specific information in here. And if you have any other questions, email, DM, whatever you need to do. Call the store, that's totally fine. Come into the store, that's totally fine. czpaint530@gmail.com. Right, and here's the email. You can email me directly. You can DM me directly on Instagram at Caber916, the 916 numbers, or give us a call. Bye-bye.